Oh, it's live because
Good. Good.
about time.
Good.
Damn it.
Fine.
Yeah, you tell him.
Roscoe, tell him.
I don't think Roscoe talks for it. I mean, he barks, but he doesn't really talk. Not a big barker. You know, he's not a big... I guess when... And it is. Hey, congratulations, new shepherd.
Yeah.
Good job, fellas. Go catch an Elon. Still working on that, aren't you? What?
Yep. No, I just got a thing.
Oh. Hey, he's got a thing, folks. Don't worry about it.
Q4 e-tron is Audi's best shot at selling a lot of EV. So,
Yeah, well...
look at that later.
Wait a second. You mean the Taycan Turbo? Their best
Yeah,
shot?
they're all platformers now.
They're
so
all platforms.
all good.
It is what it is.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Doing here.
Hey, for a second there, I thought we weren't streaming, but guess what? We're
Yeah,
streaming.
just updated.
Oh, look at that.
I've got
That's
something
weird.
going on too.
All right, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say my favorite thing of the day. You know what that is?
10 seconds.
Sure. Why not?
Is that your favorite thing of the
No,
day?
not really, but it is. It's a thing that I do. So
Favorite thing of the day
it's
today.
a thing.
For right now.
I'm going to go with
anyway.
5 seconds now because
Five.
we only got
That's the second
5.
favorite thing.
My second. One of these days, you're going to have to take this test going 4, 3,
Oh
2.
yeah, maybe. We'll
Yeah, and hey, well, that's the way it was designed originally. Welcome, welcome to Not Your
True.
Average
It's
Show
true,
Show.
true.
Mike here, Corey.
Hey, what's going on?
On the
And
couch with
Roscoe's
Roscoe.
here. He's
he's
maybe
sleeping.
maybe awake. He's awake currently.
He's tired. It is Wednesday, the 14th of April, and we are preparing a whole bunch of stuff for you guys today. We got in the headlines, we're looking at Beta. He's got some more work going on with them with Blade.
True, yeah.
We're also going to look at everybody's still chasing Elon Musk. That's real interesting. The Falcon Heavy has gotten another assignment. What else we got? We got Digital Taco Bell, and we're going to go to Sun and Fun.
Yeah, and Sun and Fun. Yeah, it's like
this
some air
coming
shows.
week. We're going to be departing early Friday, and one of the main attractions at Sun and Fun over in Lakeland, Florida this year is going to be the Blue Angels, which will be flying one of their first, I say, because I think they've already done the Pensacola
I think
show.
they've already done. I think that was the first.
Yeah, that was the first one, but they're going to be doing their show in front of a large crowd for the Lakeland crowd in their new F-18 Super Hornets, which is a big change, and I don't mean just in size-wise, it's actually a little bit of a different way of them doing business as well. So, so we're looking forward to that. And we'll go over. I guess the first thing we got to talk about is we're going to Sun and Fun. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. This is gonna be.
True.
I think this is gonna be like my 9th.
I don't know how many I've been to.
I don't know.
honestly.
Maybe
I mean,
10th.
It's as we've talked about before. You know, Sun and Fun is in Lakeland, Florida. It's in our area, our neck of the woods, as we might say.
Backyard.
And yeah, so it's not too far to get to drive over there and go to Sun and Fun. And even before, you know, we were even doing the show, we were going to Sun and Fun, as Mike's alluded. We've been to not together, but I mean, I think have we been to?
I'm trying to think. I
Have
know.
been to a show. I don't know if I've been, but
I
I
don't
mean,
know. I don't know if I've been with you, but we've
I've been
been.
a lot of them as well. Yeah, so same thing. Yeah, we've been to a lot of Sun and Funs, a lot of air shows all over the place
Mm-hmm.
in Florida. Actually, Melbourne Air Show, Cocoa Beach, Sanford.
Which this year, for some reason,
Very
is the
so-
same weekend. The
Oh,
Melbourne
yeah.
Air
I was
Show.
talking to someone about that the other day. I think there's 3 air shows this weekend.
3 air
If
shows.
I'm
So
not mistaken, and I was like, why? Why would you
I'm
do
kind
that?
of thinking, okay, so look, normally we
Why-
have an
why
air
would-
show
why would you
locally
do that?
here in March, and that was combined with an air show in Melbourne this year, which is kind of weird. And this is usually the start of the air show season. So
Right.
if there's going to be air shows and all these air demonstration teams are going to get their first crack at stuff, they usually start in March. They populate all of Florida, then they move to the south, over to Texas. They follow the spring weather as it moves north.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal for Fun and Sun because it's one of the biggest. It's kind of the kickoff of the aviation year, so to speak, in terms of people that are flying in good weather from April all the way, say, to October that are just, I'd say, bellwether flyers in some respect.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah.
what's that?
17th of April, Cocoa Beach Air Show.
Mm-hmm.
17th of April, Space Coast Warbird Air Show.
Right.
And, you know, obviously on the 17th, we'll be at Sun and Fun.
We'll be at Sun and Fun.
It's, I mean, we like air shows, don't get me wrong, but
Sure.
if you were an air show coordinator, wouldn't you be like, hey, when can we get the planes we want because they're not going to be somebody else's show?
Well, see, the unique part about the Space Coast one has always been that they have a warbird museum
Yes,
on
that's
site
true. That's
at
very
Space
cool.
Coast Regional Airport.
Yep.
And they do have access to quite a few planes that they normally send out on the air show circuit year round. But the beautiful part about Sun and Fun is just about every major air demonstration team that's usually out there has got an opportunity to put on one of their first shows for the season.
Yep.
So we're excited for that. And the second part of that is, I guess we should detail what we're going to kind of do over there, which number one is one of the nuances about Fun and Sun is it's what's called a fly-in air show.
Yeah.
So that means the general
Pretty cool.
public, like if you have an airplane or if you rent an airplane, like we tried to rent an airplane
You're
so
a
we could fly out
licensed
there.
pilot.
And you're a licensed pilot. You can turn around and you can grab yourself a little stake your ground out there. You go out there and you basically camp off your airplane if you'd like, and you fly your airplane in. And on average, it brings, I would say, probably what 10,000 airplanes.
I think so. I was
Something
gonna
like
just
that.
look that up.
It's a vast number. So the first thing that's fun to do is every manufacturer generally brings their new
200,000
models.
people per year.
200,000 people are going to be at the air show. I wonder how many actually fly in there.
I'm trying to find that.
It'd be an interesting stat. So there's going to be the
It's a
basic airplane paddocks
a
of
lot.
personal aircraft. There's going to be demonstration models from every manufacturer. Then there's going to be what's called the tent or pavilion area, which is people like Garmin, who you guys might know in the GPS world is
Yeah, if
being,
you guys are into
one
that.
thing, but Garmin is actually in the aviation world much heavier than people know. There's going to be every single type of radio,
Yeah, in the same
gadget,
way,
trinket
Yeah,
there.
I mean, in the same way that you would go to like maybe a car show
Mhm.
and you might run into people with booths that, talk about how to do engine maintenance and repaint your car and maybe stuff for brakes. All that same kind of like idea, like vendors, is at Son of Fun, but for planes.
Yes.
And I mean, yeah, it's all about aviation. It's super cool. So
So one of the things that we have up here on screen right now, this is the actual, website. If you're in the Florida area and you want to go take in an air show, or if you want to see some of the premier performances, we're going to be there for Friday day, the Friday afternoon air show, and then we're staying specifically for Saturday night's air show, which is unique in the fact that they usually incorporate some sort of really, really cool flying gadgets and whatnot for the actual show that are going to be even better than the day show, which is nice.
you got the performers up there?
You know what? I can bring them up here for a second. Go in here. Let's go air show performers.
Yeah, just show everybody who's there.
So who is supposed to? Obviously, we're gonna have the Blue Angels. We're gonna have Michael. I've never seen him. Bob Holland. The C-17 demo should be nice.
there,
That
yep.
should be nice. Warbirds, obviously.
Yep.
I'm trying to look for
There's some Corsairs going to be
David
there,
Martin,
some 51s.
Bob
There's a
Carlton.
guy, I don't know if you guys know, but Lee Lauterbach, he's the CEO of Stallion 51.
Mm-hmm.
In Florida, over at the Kissimmee Airport, there's a business called Stallion 51, and basically you can learn to pilot P-51s, and it's one of the few places in the world you can do that.
Ooh.
And this guy is the CEO and one of the top pilots there. So,
All right, the F-22 demo team is going to be there, as well as Jim. Jim is this wacko guy that actually takes just a non-aerobatic aircraft and actually does aerobatics with it, which is nice. And then the Aeroshell team, which is also very unique.
yeah, they're always quite good.
You know what? It's Yorkers, Phil, and the Beach. I don't see him in the list, and he does an amazing show.
Oh, the
Remember that black
Beechcraft?
Beechcraft that
The
actually
twin?
goes? Yeah, the
he's
twin.
crazy.
He's nuts. He does an excellent job.
He's pretty crazy.
Maybe we'll see him there. Maybe we won't. But that should
Panchito,
be
the
cool.
B-29 is going to be there.
The
which is an old
B-29?
bomber
That should
again
be
for World
cool.
War II, so that's cool. Yeah, it's a bunch of cool stuff. You guys are in aviation, planes. ton of fun.
We're gonna be there,
Yeah.
and we're gonna do. So if you've watched our similar footage that we've done on the Rolex, right?
Yep.
We're gonna be doing one of those, obviously. But this time we're gonna do something, and we're gonna tell you specifically what we're doing. We're gonna make a short because it seems like shorts,
Yeah, probably.
attract more customers in that venue, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you some excellent footage of some of the air show and some of the walkthroughs on airplanes, because I'd like to go. Embraer usually brings their executive jets there. I'd like to see if I can get a couple of walk-ons in comparison to the old Embraer jet I used to fly. A couple of things that should be interesting. So,
Cool, yeah.
what are you looking forward to getting done over there?
I'm looking forward. I mean, I always like to see Warbirds. One of my favorite plane, pretty much, probably of all time, is the P-51.
P-51, nice.
There's a bunch of them in the state. Like I said, many of them are over, or a number of them are over at Stallion 51 over in
Mhm.
Kissimmee. As Mike and I've been flying around Florida before we did other stuff, I mean, you'd hear him on the radio every once in a while, and you'd know, oh, that's the P-51, another P-51 out of Kissimmee, and it was just cool to be in the air with those planes.
Mm-hmm.
When you're able to see one, maybe do low passes where maybe you're on the ramp doing something else. That's always fun. So it's just, I mean, I like the bombers too. I kind of am. I kind of have a very good
Air
appreciation
stuff.
of like new technical, new best and fastest, and that stuff's all cool and super interesting. But something about like old engines
Oh yeah,
that just kind of aren't computerized at all. They just do what they do, right? If
sure.
you get an old '60s muscle car with just a straight carb on there, it's just nothing. It's a carburetor. Just
Well,
just
the P-51,
has an attraction to it. So
if you've never seen a P-51 at an air show, it has a very unique sound that comes from that engine, and when you hear
comes
it
from
go into a
that
dive,
scoop on the bottom.
yeah, that scoop on the bottom
Yeah.
makes a whistle, and when they throttle down to go into these dives, you hear this ramp up of airspeed around the airframe, and then you hear it go in. You could physically hear it.
Yeah.
That little.
It's a whine, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a high whine, and it's beautiful sound.
It's awesome.
The other plane that I love to hear when it goes into those aerobatics is the F4U Corsair.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay,
There's supposed to
so
be some of those here as well.
So if you're not familiar, that's the one they flew in Baba Black Sheep. That's the Corsairs, the bent wing aircraft that was mostly based on carriers through World War II.
Yep.
It's a beautiful aircraft. It's got a actually round engine, unlike the Merlin Straight, which is in the P-51, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So
correct.
it's
I mean,
it's a radial
more
engine.
popular. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different, but they're probably two of the more iconic warbirds coming out of the World War II era. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yep.
There's a couple other things here on the list though that I just actually realized that there's going to be the Philips Aerostar 66, which I'm not sure if I've seen them before. So they're here on the list, and I can't remember what they actually fly. So I'm interested to seeing what they have, and then the obviously the F-22 demo, because I've only seen the F-22 fly. I don't know. I've never seen it do the full demo.
Okay, I've seen it a few times. Yeah.
I've only seen bits of the demo, so that should be pretty cool.
I've seen it a few times. Yeah, it is very cool, vector thrust and all. And I've seen the F-35 a few times. Well, maybe just twice. I think I've seen the F-35.
Right.
And it's also obviously
F-35. I don't know if I've seen the F-35. I've seen the F-8. I've seen the Harrier.
Okay.
Do its static performance, its vertical takeoff, vertical landing, which a lot of people don't know that everybody. If you've ever seen the movie True Lies and you see the Harrier fly around in a vertical position for like 8 minutes, total bullshit. Can't do that. They have to dump actual water into the Rolls-Royce engine to keep it cool. I think its maximum hover time is like what, maybe 2 or 3 minutes? Because I've never seen it hover for that long. But
it's a movie.
It's a movie. So on that note, hey,
how it goes.
We are also planning on doing. We're gonna try. This is gonna be unique because we can't live stream using our phone yet because we're not big enough.
Yep.
So
says YouTube.
Says YouTube. Maybe you guys could help us out with that a little bit.
Need more subs. That's the long and short of it. Need more subs. So bam, there you go.
And we're not talking about Subway subs. We're talking about subscriptions. Anyhow, corny joke.
I could have some subs.
There you go. So the part of it is we have to bring a laptop in connected to a camera in order to do a live stream. Connected to a phone, connected to microphones. So we actually have to have a physical setup there on site in order to do specific live streaming. So we're working that out to bring that in so we could plop down at a table somewhere in Sun and Fun and literally live stream from the event for a little bit and just sit there, soak up some rays.
Yep.
And just to do something different because we like the challenges of localized live streaming. So that should be cool.
Yeah, and I think we can. I think we'll be able to get the hardware in. That'll be our only hiccup, I guess, is if we. So basically, just as with any show, right? They have what you can bring in, what you can't bring in. There might be just how many bags. We're gonna try to slim it down, but how many bags we need to get in terms of computer equipment.
We were thwarted, like we were at the
Rolex.
Oh,
geez, the Rolex, yeah.
At the Rolex, when we were trying to go into the pavilion center of the track where the big screen is and everything else, and usually they let us in with the bags, the fan zone. This time we were stopped literally as I was walking through with the bag. Are you, huh? I was through,
you were through
and then one
already.
of the managers came up and said, "You can't have that bag." And he was like, "That guy let me through," and then we got turned around, and then I had to go back.
Yeah, and we tried it again later, and we got turned around again.
There was many attempts made.
We tried.
Okay. With that said, hey everybody, we look forward to bringing you some of the update information from Sun and Fun. We're excited to get there, but we also have some more information about Sun and Fun, and I guess should I just dive right into it?
Yeah, have at it.
Okay. So
the Hornets, let's do it.
Yeah. So this is pretty easy. This is one of the main attractions, obviously, being there is the premier flight demonstration by the F-18 Super Hornets in the hands of now the Blue Angels. And this is going to be, like I said, their first year with this aircraft. And there are some notable differences that we're going to be taking a look at here just shortly. in order to give you a perspective of what people expect from a demonstration team and what's going to be different about the size of this aircraft and how it plays into it. So I was talking to my buddy Dave the other day, and he's like, hey, by the way, the people that said that they've seen the Pensacola show already said that the formations look a bit bigger. They're not quite as close because the airframe is bigger, and they're still getting a little bit more comfortable with it. So one of the things I wanted to point out is that there's actually some specific dimensions, as well as power, noise, and everything else. But if you take a look at the F-18 and the Super Hornet, the original Hornet, now the easiest way to tell these two apart, just to give you guys a heads up, is that the Super Hornet has very angular engine intakes underneath the fuselage and the wing. So you can see these trapezoidal shapes here as compared to the rounded shapes that you can see in the original Hornet. Okay, that's one of the easiest ways.
The previous Hornet, yeah.
The previous. However, dimensionally, the aircraft is larger, which means you're looking at a wingspan of almost 4 feet 3 inches longer. Okay, and additionally, the actual tail section is additionally almost another 5 feet wider. But the overall length of the airplane grows by an additional 4 feet, which may or may not seem like a lot. But when you're trying to do close-in tight maneuvering and you're doing these maneuvers where you're actually looking at the wing of the other aircraft next to you, you're doing the diamond formation, that's big. That's huge. 4 feet might as well be a mile.
Well, it's 4 feet per plane, right? But remember, there's multiple planes in the pattern. There's seven.
I think 7.
They're not always together. They do different things. But
right.
But yeah, there's multiple planes, so that adds up. You know, there's nearly 30 feet difference of the whole formation. So
correct, which is
going
to
where you sit in the formation, it all looks different. But yeah.
Right, but the other thing is where you're sitting on the ground, this formation is going to be 40 feet wider by 40 feet longer in the sky. Where you're when you stack all these, so here's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, depending
plane here. Yeah. Every time you stack them, they're going to get wider when you go 5 across, so on and so forth. So the actual formation is going to seem like it's almost a plane bigger.
It has to be.
Which is number one. But the other thing that's really strange to me, this thing is 60 feet long. The old Embraer jet I used to fly was 99 feet long, and it held 50 people.
This carries
one guy in this format, and it's 60 feet long. He's got a lot of plane to play with.
Yeah, a lot of jet, a lot of thrust.
So, and I also hear that it's much louder because you said it makes how much more lift?
I didn't find that. I did not see that anywhere. Did you see it somewhere?
No, I'm pretty sure they're saying. Let me take a look here.
I was looking at other things. I mean, it's a whole lot cheaper to operate than like the F-35, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't see.
It's a pretty looking plane. It's bigger. I'm pretty sure it's got a bigger thrust number somewhere in there. But I could be wrong. Anyhow, we're looking forward to seeing that. That's another one of the nuances of getting to a Sun and Fun, to see these up close fighter jets, which you normally don't get a chance to see just about anywhere else around. And it's nice to see that we're going to have an opportunity to look at them. And we hope to get you guys even greater footage of them doing what they do, which is these nice formations. And I guess this can also be a real testament to our camera skills, too.
Yeah, here we go. So compared to Legacy Hornets, the F-18E and F, the Super Hornet, came in basically 20% larger, which we know, 25% more wing area. They have upgraded F414 engines and about 41% increase in mission range, which is, mission range is pretty big.
That's pretty big. So I think they are more powerful, though, right?
It said
F414.
Upgraded 414 engines. I don't have the figures of the actual output of the engines, but they're upgraded. I would imagine they would be for the obvious increase in weight that the bigger dimensions would entail.
Let's take a look. What do you think their thrust rating is going to be
compared to the old one?
Yep. Let's see.
I don't know what the difference would be.
Let's take a look. Oh, the General Electric. Obviously, GE still has their. So this is the 400 Super Hornet, also to be this F-17 Nighthawk. Type.
So the Super Hornets, the 414 GE 4-400, actual fitment they have in there.
Okay. How much you think per side?
Apparently. Oh no, that's
per side. There's without afterburners. This is pre-afterburner. 13,000 foot-pounds of thrust per side. With afterburners, 22,000 pounds of thrust. Bypass ratio is actually relatively low at 0.25, so these are not fuel-efficient engines. But just to put that in context, the old Embraer I flew had 14,000 pounds of thrust almost total. This is going to have 13,000 pounds of thrust per side, not including afterburners.
Yeah, well, thrust-to-weight ratio is 9, so it's
going somewhere.
It's pretty good,
in a hurry. So that's all off of Wikipedia. But this is just stuff that we're reading off
Yeah,
Wikipedia.
super, classified.
Yes.
It's Wikipedia, so there you go. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. So, hey, with that said, hey, we invite everyone to join us to go watch the Blue Angels and to enjoy the air show.
And anybody else in the YouTube going to be at Sun and Fun? Let us know.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Let us know in the comments below, because I know there's a
there.
couple people that I'd like to go see at Sun and Fun that I have asked to join us, but they may not be able to make it. So we'll see. With that said, hey, like, subscribe, follow, and Corey's going to do a follow-up here with, where are you going?
I think it was SpaceX.
Going to everybody's chasing after Elon. That is correct. All right, here you go. You're on deck.
Yeah, cool. So this one comes. I just found this one basically this morning. Basically, it's SpaceX. They've got another customer for their Falcon Heavy, and this comes from the Astrobotic. If I said that, Astrobotic. Astrobotic. I can't. Sorry about that. But they got a lander that they're going to send to the moon, and basically that's their NASA's Volatiles Investigating Polar Exploration Rover, or they're calling it Viper, and that's going to the moon. And so basically that's comes out of NASA's contract with this company Astrobotic out of Pennsylvania, and they've chosen SpaceX for their Falcon Heavy launch vehicle. This thing isn't set to go, I think, until 2022, depending on. They wanted to extend the lifetime of the vehicle on the moon, so it's not going to go up yet. But again, this kind of follows on with what we were talking about as far as SpaceX still getting a decent amount of launch customers for their Falcon Heavy rocket in that space of the heavies, right? We know there's some other players coming into the light market and the medium lift rocket with, well, now Neutron, right? That was one of the newer ones we were talking about too. But Falcon Heavy still getting some customers, and as we honestly, we still have Starship and its big booster still in mind. Starship obviously is kind of a bit more geared to going further out in the solar system, but they do know, as far as just pure lifting capacity, the boosters of Starship will be able to put a bunch of weight in space, and if they want to do other things, I'm sure that's certainly going to be possible. So Falcon Heavy not gone, still around. Obviously, the main thing here with Falcon Heavy, though, it's proven, right?
Well,
right. Like there's
multiple ways.
Other big players. Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's other heavy lift rockets out there. There's not a whole lot of them.
No.
But remember, Falcon Heavy's, it's a proven platform. It's already done multiple missions, so it's still got some more stuff. So I thought it was pretty cool that because I mean, I've been to the Falcon Heavy launch YouTube, man, and big rockets are.
Big rockets are fun, but I mean, it's almost like it spells a little bit of doom again for the NASA's SLS, because everybody had, and this is where I say everybody chases Elon, right? Everybody had Falcon Heavy written off. Everybody had Starship penned as the next heavy lifter that was going to take its role, and said that, Falcon Heavy's great.
Well, a lot of people putting their luck on still on SLS, like you said.
Yeah, a lot of people. So, and to me, it's just another case of how much more are you going to chase SpaceX? Because when you think this rocket really hasn't found a home to do lifting work, guess what? It's found a home to do lifting work.
Pick up another one, yeah.
It's picked up another one, and it keeps ticking those boxes ever so quickly. And, all right. Let's just reverse 10 years ago when Elon Musk says, I'm going to build a company that's going to fire rockets into space, and we're going to use an old formula, but we're going to recover the rockets. They're going to land vertically, and we're going to redesign the way people put things into space using that formula. And you fast forward to today and you go, you're still catching Elon Musk.
Yeah, he's made it work.
He's made it work.
Still making it work.
Yes.
Almost everybody that's doing at least medium, and well, not heavy too, but medium, is doing recoverables, because they, again, it really just goes, they're chasing Elon, right? It's all about bottom line, right?
Yeah.
Let's not beat around the bush, I guess, right? To get the most amount of business, to do anything, you want to be able to do it the cheapest but most efficient, obviously, right? And if you can launch a rocket and recover it without having a whole bunch of just things you write off because it's the first stage you dump into the atmosphere or into the sea or whatever, save money. And if you can launch it again, even better. And boom, I mean, it's not too hard to follow the theory and be like, yeah, that should work. That should be really cost effective if you can make it work. And well, now we got it working. So just kind of go along with that. I do want to just take 2 seconds to give, I know I said at the beginning of the show, but some props out to Blue Origin, still doing their thing.
Sure.
They're still making some progress. Just this morning, they launched another, as it would be, a new Shepard test.
Shepard, right. Yeah.
That was their dress rehearsal for human tests.
Mm-hmm.
So they did the full dress rehearsal with actual people and putting them in the capsule and doing all the tests for comms, Capcom, and all that stuff.
They left Mannequin Skywalker in
and
there.
then they took him out, and then the rocket did go up and made it to
I
orbit.
thought they left Mannequin
Or,
in.
I'm sorry, made it to space and then came back down. No, Mannequin was on board.
He was on board.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they launch a Mannequin, and they affectionately call him Mannequin Skywalker. He's been on multiple flights already. But anyway, they'll launch some postcards up into space for some kids, people in that program that are interested. I can't remember what the name of the program is, but that's pretty cool too. So
Yeah.
they're still doing that. That's I think it was their 16th landing. Is that right? Or 15th?
Somewhere in that realm.
One or the other. But anyway, there you go. Blue Origin's still at it, and they also are still building new Glen here in the Space Coast, out on the Cape, as we mentioned in some previous shows. Blue Origin's still at it out there as well. Big and what 90 more acres or something over there. So,
right. So we covered that last.
So while
week,
they
right
don't quite have the contracts that SpaceX does, where I'm still very curious to see what they do in the next few years.
Look,
obviously it depends on winning some contracts.
See, I'm concerned. I'm concerned that Jeff Bezos steps away from Amazon, comes in and says, "I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna look at what's going on." Basically, with Blue Origin, right?
Yeah.
He makes that move.
Yeah, of course.
And obviously,
he's
a wise man. He wants to protect an investment. However, outside of launching their own data satellites and how they're going to do that, and what position that's going to take inside their technology design of the future in space, is interesting because, again, if you look at that model, Starlink is ahead, so you're still chasing Elon Musk, right?
And they were just fighting over orbits, their own constellations as well, just recently ago.
So I guess my big thing here is that I'm curious of what Blue Origin is going to do, and I kind of see that they have their strategy to develop in front of them. It's almost like the roadmap is still already there that SpaceX has already made, and they're going, hey, you got to go vertical and land vertical. You got to make it mostly recoverable. You got to be able to do these things. Otherwise, you're not playing in the same space.
Sure.
So he's really defining the space category almost 100%. And now with this new contract for Falcon Heavy, it just proves that his business model is sound. Good work for him.
No, I agree. I agree. It's still an uphill battle for everybody who's quote chasing SpaceX.
Yeah.
Because as you know, with Elon, whether it's SpaceX or Tesla, they continue to innovate, and that's really the key to never being satisfied with their performance. Whether things are working right or working not, they're pushing on, which is great. Obviously,
sure.
That, but
sure.
There you go.
There you go. Hey, and if you get a chance, remember, like, subscribe, and follow. So do you want to go into you want to do a double here, or you want to kick it over to the
I can talk
Bell?
about Blade if you want to.
Huh?
I can talk about Blade.
All right. It's all you.
Yep,
It's a you.
So next
you.
one, back a little bit to our VTOL, our electric air taxi kind of cargo news segment. And this is the one talking about, again, you guys remember we talked about Beta Technologies just, I think it was yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
With
Monday.
the UPS's announcement that they're going to partner with Beta Technologies and buy a bunch of Beta Technologies vehicles when they're up and running for short-term transport of cargo up to 250 miles or so for UPS parcels and packages, right? So this one is now Beta back in the news again, but with Blade, and Blade is basically a helicopter company out of New York, basically up there, and they do a lot of like VIP and just heliport stuff up there. But anyway, Blade. Apparently buying, what is it, 20? Did I get? I think it's,
I think it says 20,
they said they had sealed a deal
15
Tuesday to seal like 20 vertical aircraft for Blade's urban air mobility sector. So, I mean, we talked a bit about Blade yesterday, of course. So we don't have to. It's maybe just a bit of a recap, right? They've done the vehicle is flying. They don't have the VTOL part working with the batteries on board and all that, but it is currently a flying vehicle,
right?
Flying by petrol. It's not electric. They're still using petrol power for their pusher prop, I believe it is. Yeah.
Yep, it is a pusher prop because they haven't finished their VTOL part of it yet, which is part of the eVTOL.
So the VTOL part, all that's not certified, still in testing. So, but it's great, obviously, for Blade. If it works, right? If as far as Beta's thing gets certified. This is kind of another thing to see where, and I wanted to kind of bring this up too, not just because we talked about Beta yesterday, but also to bring up again. Now we're talking again really about urban air mobility.
It's coming
in New York, right?
All right. So
you want to take some of that?
Yeah, I'll take some. Okay, look,
so
I briefly, and I do say briefly because I didn't stay there for more than a month. They got rid of me. I worked for a company up there that worked for Blade, flying people around New York City, in the helicopter industry, and it was probably It's one of those things. Just the job doesn't work out, right? However, they were heavily entrenched at the time. My old operator, Bristow, was actually making moves into the Blade territory to try to move people around Manhattan. And here, the big routes around Manhattan, around New York City. Grew up there. I know the areas that people like to go. They like to go to the Hamptons in the summer. They like to go to the Jersey Shore. They like to have private helicopter flights between, say, LaGuardia, JFK, Newark, and even Westchester County and Teterboro, because those are big movers of high rollers in that area, okay? And this makes perfect sense strategically for Blade to take on that with Beta as a partner. However, notoriously, New York has very stringent anti-noise law litigation, or actually, they've litigated. They've created new anti-noise areas. They have very strict air traffic corridors for helicopters in some areas, and that's going to be the challenges that these eVTOL markets may or may not hit, because if they're quieter, if they can offer the same level of service, but they can also function just not out of the heliports, because the people that live around the heliports are sick and tired of the noise.
Oh yeah.
So the tours that are in New York City are only allowed to take place certain times off of those heliports, and then some of these operators will actually move to places like Linden, New Jersey, or offsite locations where they can still continue to do tours without the noise abatement rules. So it strategically makes a lot of sense. And look, this model is going to be the same problem when you get this into larger cities. They're all going to have the same problem with noise. Okay, the noisier these aircraft are, the more resistance they're going to have after years or months of these things flying over. So even if these VTOLs are great at doing a good job,
can do the job.
If they're noisy,
they're safe. It's going to be the same problem as ever before if they're noisy.
They're just going to have noise. You know who doesn't have a noise problem?
Well, supposedly Volocopter.
No, Jetuptera.
I knew you're going to bring it up.
I know you're going to bring it up. Jetuptera has actually gone through two different studies with both the Air Force at this point, and I believe it was the Army, and they were proven to be 40% to 50% quieter than the lowest known type of propulsion.
At that power output.
At that power output,
right? That's how they said it.
So that I keep hitting that nail, because I see a winner. Hey, I see winner chicken dinner coming up on the horizon. And actually, we're going to do a follow-up to them, because as I dig more into their actual their structure, there's a lot of test videos that we haven't shown you yet that's on their website that they have, without a doubt, proven that this thing will pretty much fly.
It does fly.
As is.
I know we've had people in the comments talk before
yes.
that and now we're a little bit deviated from Blade, but on Jetuptera.
But it's part of the conversation, I guess. Yeah.
It's but obviously with Jetuptera, the method of propulsion, their fluidic propulsion system is I'm not gonna say so new, because it's not new, but so different.
Its
application is different.
Yes.
Right? That there's certainly some resistance to it even like functioning as a thing, as a method. And it flies. There's videos of it flying, it flies. But yeah, we'll do more.
You know what we got to do? This is what we really got to do to break down this conversation, so that people understand the differences. When you're operating a helicopter, it's noisy, it's got vibrations, there's a lot of limitations to the actual business model. Yeah. And what we've got to do is actually come up with an episode where we literally discuss what the advantages are over an eVTOL over helicopters.
Sure, we can do that.
Because we talk about them so much that I don't think people in layman terms understand how excited we are about these changes, because they make massive inroads for aviation in places that we've loved to see it operate for a long time, but they've been hindered.
For one reason or another.
Whether it be noise abatement, whether it be airspace restrictions.
Just people in the area with influence not wanting them there.
Well, and it's usually the people with more money that can't afford the helicopter ticket, but just don't want the noise.
That's what I'm saying, though. But that's what I mean. Public opinion on and as we say, noise or location is huge.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Depending on, because again, helicopters, as we said, are noisy, and people not always. I mean, there may be a decent amount of you out there maybe watching this that have never been in a helicopter, been around a helicopter.
Right.
Yeah, they're noisy.
Ooh, it's interesting to me, and here's the funniest thing. When I look at the pictures of this, I wonder how this thing is going to ride. I really wonder how when it's in VTOL mode with those wings. Because look, here's another thing that a lot of people may or may not be prepared for. General aviation aircraft below the clouds at a certain weight limit are very responsive to updrafts and downdrafts in the atmosphere. In other words, the aircraft will rise, it'll pitch, it'll roll almost as if you're operating a boat on water. It's just water that you can't see. And if you've ever flown a small aircraft, you have some experience with that. And really all the flight simulators you could ever play do not do justice to the seat of the pants movement that it gives you when this aircraft gets thrown around. And I'm just curious how, even as you get more people attracted to flying these smaller vehicles, how they're going to handle that dynamic moving forward, because it's going to be abrupt for some people to get behind this.
Yeah, no, I think we touched on that too on one of the episodes, maybe back when we were talking about the Lufthansa report. We were mentioning some of the main hurdles, whether it's monetary or public opinion.
Right.
But also we were talking about, what happens when the weather is just not perfect and you get some bumpy air, and it's not like thunderstorm. It's just bumpy air,
just bumpy
particles. And we talked about, well, these vehicles compared to even an Embraer plane, they weigh a whole lot less.
Right.
They're going to move around, and some people are going to take a flight, and some people are going to say, I'm never going to do that again.
Look,
probably.
Right, of course.
So,
it's just going to be one of those things. I will say one thing.
Yeah.
When you're flying a helicopter over landmass, it's generally more bumpy. But the minute you get a helicopter offshore, within 3 miles offshore, it's like glass. Because you have
then you're out over the water, which some people inherently don't like either.
Which I didn't like doing it either, flying in the Gulf of Mexico. However, the difference is it becomes so smooth because all the air currents are now operating over the same surface. So it's very, very easy and different. Much longer story. Hey, the challenges that are coming in the future. So
excited.
I got nothing else on this one. You got anything?
Taco Bell.
Oh, okay. No, but are you done with this subject?
I'm done. Yeah, I'm good.
We wrap this one up. You can wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Yeah. So perfect. Yeah. So that was our little chat about Blade, about beta technologies picking up Blade on top of UPS. And so we thank you so much for hanging out for that. Obviously, all the support of the channel helps us out. So like, subscribe, share, please. Good. And we'll pass on over to the next subject.
Oh boy. I get to take on. This is gonna be funny.
Some
food,
why? Some little tongue-in-cheek kind of.
Tongue-in-cheek because the way that it. All right, I'll just get into it because I thought it was funny. So, in the New York Post, an article today says that Taco Bell opens its only digital-only restaurant in Times Square that serves booze.
Also serves booze.
It also serves booze. However, if you look at it, it's basically nothing other than, and I don't know why this is even news. Because everybody gets happy about tacos. I like tacos. He likes tacos. Taco Tuesday, great, fantastic.
Go
right?
ahead.
Secondly, it's a Mexican-themed restaurant chain, but they're going to sell booze. But basically, you're going to walk in and order via screen, which is...
You do pick your food up in these booths, these cubes?
Yeah, so they're cubes. They're cubes on the wall.
But I almost wonder if that's not a product so much of this digital thing as it is... COVID almost. I'm not trying to go there.
Hey,
but
you said it.
I know, but it came to mind when I read this article. I'm like, okay, so you order digitally, don't need to talk to a person or anybody else. They're spaced out.
Sure.
Which is good. You don't need to be too crunched in there anyway. But then you go around and these cubes. I don't know if you're in that. Yeah, you got that up. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
cubes are on the wall.
You wait, and you could see them put your food in from behind in the cubes apparently, and then the cube changes a color. And and
your order's still wrong.
Done. You walk up, apparently, you punch your order number in, and it opens the door, and you've got this taco without having to talk to anyone.
There's something else there.
Unless you want booze, but I mean,
There's something else there, though, as the article alludes to, right? And I just want to punch this in there. Yeah. This was the old food marts, or they used to do this in the 1920s and the 1930s in New York. Okay? You would go into a luncheonette place, sit down, and you would basically put your quarter in the wall, open the door, and there would be your hot food. Okay, this does not mean that you're going to get a fully digital taco from top to bottom. Okay, number one,
you're going to get an NFT taco.
You're going to get an NFT. No, not happening. Okay, you're not going to get a Dogecoin-esque, which by the way hit another record. I did see that. As well as what was the other one that hit a record? 63,000 Bitcoin. Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. I saw a Dogecoin this morning.
So it's just interesting to me that we're into this digital phase, yet we're going so far digital, and we want to label it as digital, that we're actually going back in time to the 1920s and the 1930s using the same kind of nuance and technology, yet they're still going to screw up your order.
Yeah, you can't even yell at anybody. I mean, one thing maybe to point out is up at the desk, the front desk where you would normally order, it's still going to be a person there anyway. And
but they're going to show you your food getting built.
Yeah. Well, okay. You see your food getting built, then they take it over the cubes that are given to you. They walk it around the corner and put it in the cube. But I mean, I guess that my point there is, if you still want to talk to somebody, there's still a guy or a person up at the front there.
Someone
that you can not order beer from, but say, hey, my taco's wrong, or hey, you forgot my third, whatever it might be.
Right. And
But,
just in time for summer, you're going to get a $3.59 Apple Bell Freeze or Bell Apple Freeze.
Yeah, what is that about?
I don't know. It's probably just a
It's
frozen
a
apple
new
drink.
drink. So if you don't know what we're talking about, they say they're offering a new thing called the Bell Apple Freeze for $3.59.
Mm-hmm.
But then we don't know what it is. It
So-
sounds like a freezy then. Yeah, it's
It just sounds like a
chilled
flurry, some sort of beverage. I mean, look, it looks
twisted
nice.
freeze with rum. Maybe is that one gonna be alcoholic? Because it does say up here. The new locations offer beer on tap, and then twisted freezes with rum, tequila, and vodka, as well as White Claw.
Okay, so here's
There
the
you
thing: there has never been any beverage in New York City in the time that I worked there, through almost all of the year 20, for almost 10 years that I worked there.
Yeah.
I never got a drink in that city for under like $8.50.
Well, here you go. Tacos getting slammed.
You know, there's no way you're putting alcohol in a beverage in a Taco Bell for $3.59.
What it says? I don't know.
No, yeah, it's going to be a $3.59 Bell
Freezy,
Apple Freeze,
non-alcoholic.
but non-alcoholic. The minute you put alcohol in that thing's going to be $11.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't buy it anyway.
Well, I might try it. Be like, what's the big deal? Might as well just go and try it. Why not?
But there you go. Taco Bell. Digital Taco Bell.
Digital tacos.
Digital. It's even in quotes on the article. I love it.
Yeah,
Digital.
that was even funnier. It's a digital taco.
I love that it says
digital. Big letters. Opens its digital only.
I
So
love
wait,
it.
they say digital only.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
So now, I guess to expand on that a little bit would be funnier if they turn around and that everything that happened there was made by either a robot and there was like no human interaction, right? So you just basically put your card in, you walk in, order,
and there's no people.
There's no people
except maybe
Just-
the
Sure.
shells or whatever in the back. Yeah.
That would be digital taco, complete digital taco.
Then who do you complain to? You send a hate mail to the.
Okay.
I don't even know. Whatever.
So wait, this opens up a larger part of the discussion because we've all dealt with automated phone systems. We all deal with automated checkouts now at your local grocery store, and we all deal with the fact that on a daily basis in the customer service environment, you like to deal with humans in some cases, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you need to like ask a question,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna take you literally 10 seconds to get it out, and maybe 10 seconds to get a response.
Right.
Done. Like out
Sure.
the door, done. And it takes 30 minutes going through prompts to try to like nail down the prompt, and then at the end, like, would you like to speak to? Yes, please.
Yes, I would. Yes, please.
When normally I pick up the phone, I'm like, I don't want to talk to a human. I don't want to type it in and be done.
Okay, so look at the so I just want everybody to pay attention. Look at the frustration that Corey's got, and Corey's a very
It's
placid
both.
man.
It's
Okay,
both.
it's this it's this agitation where you would like to talk to a real human, and then there's the nuance of dealing with a real human when you're dealing with food, right? It is like that experience. Dining out is dining out because it usually is a social experience, and it revolves around interaction. Fast food, maybe not so much. I don't know what the deal there is because look, Panera Bread.
It's not even fast.
Well, look, Panera has the same thing. You walk into a Panera and you're digitally tapping out.
Yeah, Wawa's got it.
Wawa's got it.
Mean,
there's some. I think every
Cumberland
Walmart.
Farms has it. I mean,
Cumberland Farms has it. Every Walmart I've been to,
gas
if you want to go to the with the cashierless checkout, you can do that.
yeah, I
there's
mean,
lots of places
almost
with it.
anywhere I go, or me and wife go, we like to do self checkout.
Yeah.
We just beep and then pay and walk out. I mean, it's just.
You know what would have been more interesting to me if you had walked in, and even more COVID friendly would be that if you would just basically walk in and be presented that with your own cell phone to order right there on your own cell phone, and just ship it to them.
You know, who does that? What are those called? There's Amazon stores.
Mhm.
I think they're in New York.
There are some.
Or they're Cali. I don't know what they're called. They're Amazon Go maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
something
that's
like
what
that.
it's called.
Yeah, yeah.
And you walk into this. It's a grocery store actually.
Yeah.
And you walk in and then you like check in on your app to Amazon app, and then you like just pick stuff up off your cart, off the wall, right? Put it in your cart or your bag or whatever, and then you just walk out because they're all NFC tagged or whatever, and then it tags you as walking out with them, and then it changes your Amazon account. You don't even pay anything.
Yeah.
You walk in, get your stuff, and leave, which is cool.
This is really
Which is cool.
interesting. Wait, okay, you know. I'm going to go even way further into this discussion.
Okay.
You people may or may not know this, but your supermarket and your gas station has been laid out in a specific way to make things more attractive to you towards impulse buying and purchases. So they literally have, in some parts of America, they literally have test grocery stores. They have test gas stations where they set these things up. People use them on a daily basis, and they study everything about your interaction inside of the store and how your purchasing habits can be changed. And proof of this is that if you're at your local grocery store, and if you've ever noticed that right there just before you check out, there's usually a cold drink dispenser where you can turn around and grab like a water or
there's
tea.
everything in there now.
There's everything there. And then you have your magazine rack, and then you have your, there's gum.
Candy, of course.
Candy, okay. Sugar. Always sugar. Because God forbid you don't have enough sugar in your bloodstream.
Then when you leave, there's the change machine.
Mm-hmm.
Which if you hate change, you just got change when you get rid of it. You can change machine.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, they've got the lotto tickets there now. I've seen a lot of that, right? So there's other stuff leave.
So everything is designed, and I wonder what the studies that went into the design of this digital-only Taco Bell revealed about people's purchasing habits, and why they would come up with this cubicle design that was literally, like I said, something so big and prevalent in the 20s and 30s in New York City that it's taking on this again back in New York City. It's like Back to the Future. So very interesting.
There you go. There,
Anyhow, that's all I got.
I'm done.
You're done? I'm done. I'm done with this. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in today. We know we go all over the place. That's part of the show. We appreciate your participation, and thank you again for showing up. And we will catch you tomorrow. We're gonna do remote.
Probably remote as we get prepared for Sun and Fun.
So we'll probably be talking a little bit more about Sun and Fun and just getting stuff together for that. And then Friday morning, we are on the road early for another expedition out into the great unknown of location streaming and fun.
Yeah, with the live streaming time to be determined.
Yes.
Depending on weather and
what time we get there,
and what's
what
going
they let
on
in,
and what space we can find to set up. So, but hey, Friday, Saturday, we'll be doing something.
We'll be doing it. All right, guys. All right, you done?
I'm good.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will we'll catch you guys next time. See you later.
Take it easy.
Bye bye.
Catch you next time.
Thanks for the music, Harris.
Harris is always.
Yeah, leaving Twitch. Thanks, Harris.
Oh yeah, about that. Yeah, geez. Harris
wow.
Taylor going to YouTube. He's already been there apparently. I didn't even see the stream yet. It was yesterday.
I saw the other one that there was another stream that says burn the boats.
Burn the boats.
And the other one said this is not clickbait.
That's it.
That was the other one.
Yep.
That was the other one.
I appreciate that.
So, hey, that's all we got time for. Take care, everybody. See you later.
Take it easy.
Bye bye.